Hey book friends, how's it going? Thanks for stopping by for today's video. Today's video is going to be a little bit different because I'm going to shoot just straight from the cuff. The book we're going to talk about today is a very emotional book that, see, I can't even talk about it, I knew this was going to happen. So the book that we're going to talk about today is Beyond the Roses by Monica James. So I am fortunate enough to be on Monica's team, and she warned us when she was writing it that it was super emotional. She was crying while she was writing it, and let me tell you, she wasn't wrong. The book is about Lola and Roman. I don't want to give too much away about the book, so I feel like if I just kind of tell you a little bit about it, and you can obviously see my reaction to it, that might be enough. Lola is in her middle 20s. She lives in New York City. She was diagnosed at, I think, 20 with a terminal illness. She has exhausted all of her efforts. She is resigned to living the best life that she has with the time that she has left on this earth. As a little bit of a trigger warning that that's what the story is about. If you have a loved one or know someone that has suffered from a terminal illness, in that you know what it's going to be about. You know how this story is going to go. Roman is a doctor. He's a little bit older than her. I thought it was really sweet that he actually celebrated his 30th birthday in the book. They meet when Lola goes to spend the summer at a beautiful place where kids that have terminal illnesses can go to be kids, to enjoy the simple things like summer camp and fun activities like that. She goes there to work there for the summer. And that's where she meets Roman. Roman is one of the doctors that works there. As the story went on, I wasn't really sure because I knew this was a bit of a departure for Monica. I enjoy all of Monica's books. I have done several videos on them, and knowing what I knew going into this book, I wasn't really sure what direction Monica was going to take Lola's story, if there was going to be, I mean, she's obviously a romance author, obviously, but I knew that this book was a little bit different from her usual books. I would liken it to her stepping out of the box with Chase the Butterflies, which I love. I wasn't sure how the story was going to go for Lola, and I was very nervous. I kind of read the book with one eye open. I really liked Lola. I liked how she related to the world. I really liked the relationship she made and the friendships that she made at Strawberry Fields, which is the name of the facility, for lack of a better word. I also really liked Roman. We get more of Lola than we get of Roman. So as it unfolded, I liked how Monica wrote Roman, and we started to get to know him on a different level, and how he related to Lola, and how they came together and why they came together. But then that made me nervous. I have to admit that with many of the ARC teams that I'm on, when the author sends the book, I have a tendency to pull back from the group and not want any spoilers from the group. I do love to go back and read when everyone posts after they've read the book, because I want to see if we picked up on the same things, or if I didn't maybe understand or like a character that maybe somebody else had a different viewpoint that I really liked, and that helped me understand the character more, stuff like that. That being said, I knew because Monica talked about this book a lot when she was writing it, that I didn't want to know anything about it. I wanted to go in completely blind. And unfortunately, I did get a little bit of a spoiler. I wanted to acknowledge in her Facebook group that I got the book, and in doing that, right before I posted, the post right underneath mine actually said something. So then I was like, oh God, it compared this book to another very well-known book And I was like, oh, shoot. Well, now I kind of know. So that enticed me to want to read more to see if it was really like that. And wouldn't you know, I have read the other book that that person mentioned. It was very emotional, but I read it forever ago. So reading this one, and I think that in the state of the world, my emotions are just heightened and I'm a little bit quicker to cry these days. So when we get to the parts where it starts to become the romance that I was looking for and waiting for to happen for Lola, and then the realness of her life is where I understood when Monica was crying writing the book, because she made me cry. She made me emotional. Monica did put a really thoughtful and thought-provoking spin on Lola and Roman's relationship that I actually didn't see coming. It reminded me of another book that was really popular that I started to read, got halfway through, and had to walk away from because I couldn't handle it. It made me too emotional. But I was determined to see this one through, and let me tell you, bring the tissues when you read this book. Not only does this book make you feel for the characters, but it reminds you how completely and utterly precious life is. And that if you don't take each day as it comes, you're not promised tomorrow. Today is a blessing. Tomorrow might not come. I purposely did not finish this book at night because I knew I would never sleep. So last night I got to a point where I knew I couldn't read anymore. I was already very emotional and I knew what was coming. So I put it down and then I finished it this morning. Wow. Usually I can say that your heart gets broken and then author will put it back together, but let me tell you, this is the type of story that you know is happening to people every single day, and their hearts are broken forever. The epilogue is beautiful, and I cried all the way through that as well. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice, but I am proud that I made it through this video without completely breaking down and crying, because oh my God, I don't know if I have any tears left. Lola and Roman made me shed a million tears. And I do love that a book made me feel that way. What a really beautiful story. Let me know if you have read Beyond the Roses in the comments section below. If you need another tear-jerker, good, ugly cry book, I will include Chase the Butterflies in my description box. Wow, you will cry with that one as well. I cried through that video. That's twice now, Monica, that you have brought me to complete and utter tears. I love that your words do that. As usual, I thank you for taking a moment to consider subscribing and giving the video a thumbs up. When you do that, it not only helps my channel, but it will help this video get better visibility on YouTube. Everyone is going to be able to see me cry then, so thanks for sticking with me through this video. But boy, when there's a book like Beyond the Roses, you just can't help all the emotions it brings out of you. Thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. I'll see you soon.